This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, for your half-assed entertainment news with no bullshit, with our hosts, Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk4Media.
So I'm trying to figure out where they can watch it live.
They could probably watch it live on our... Oh, hey everybody.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm your host, Summer Helene, and this is my ex-boyfriend, Idiot Face.
My audience earlier was commenting that I was in the doghouse because I was live before this radio show, and yeah, I kind of am. I don't know where to go with that.
Oh, I can list it. Would you like me to?
No, but let's talk about today's topics, which you have. I know you do, fist bump.
Yeah, we are going to be talking about a few things. So
Let's
for those
do it.
that don't know, shocking, I'm a monarchist.
You look beautiful, by the way.
Thank
I love your
you.
hat.
Thank you.
What's on your thingy there?
So this is an antique brooch. That's a Chanel brooch. These are pearls, and that's a yellow sapphire and diamonds.
Do you know what's...
And these are white, and these are pearls.
You want to know what's better than all that?
What?
Yeah, an American flag sweater. Look at this. An Olympic sweater. It's authentic.
He did actually. That is from the Olympics from 1984 or 5, I believe.
It's one of those dates. Whichever one is from that one. But they have a ton of remakes. You've seen them on Shein, but this is a legitimate one. It's even got
From
the Olympic
US
printing on the
Olympics,
back.
Yeah, this
it's
is
beautiful.
From the US Olympics. So we've had a lot going on in the news. The Duchess of Sussex, who is now, I've decided, my nemesis at this point. She's driving me crazy with all the level of stupid.
Yeah.
She's making the monarchy look bad. And I do have to say, as a diehard monarchist, I don't like that.
Fair enough. And we just got word from our... sorry, this is off topic completely. And I know you don't like she's not a monarchist. But I saw this and I want to make sure we get that information out there to everyone else. There is... anyone who's listening right now who normally tunes into the live on YouTube, you can you can go watch it live on Facebook. So I'm sure we told everyone that.
Hey, genius.
Yes, what's
up? If they're not listening to us live on YouTube, how are they supposed to switch over? Your followers usually jump on YouTube.
I just put it in the Discord, so they'll get it.
Put it in the Discord.
Yeah.
So you can watch us on Facebook. You can watch us there. I'm very sorry. We didn't actually get them the strike, which is shocking. You think we would. There has been a lot going on in the news and media lately that has been... Well,
I want to chime back into Meghan Markle because she kind of got herself back in the public eye again.
I know, but I need you to follow a streamline of thought because this like scattered Picasso-looking thing that you're doing is very problematic, and it means that we can't take clips of this to repost. So I need a
business-wise, bad idea. You're
thought.
right. All right, what are we on right now? Let's go.
You go with what you're wanting.
All right, we're gonna lock in on Markle for a second.
I really don't want to, but sure.
Okay. Oh man. Okay.
So we're talking about the Duchess of Disappointment.
Yeah.
What about her?
It just doesn't get better for her on a consistent basis, quite frankly. And I think part of the problem...
What do you mean better for her?
It doesn't get better for her.
No, of course it doesn't. It's her behavior. You need to look at this realistically. So for those that don't know, not only am I a monarchist, I am a hardcore imperialist. I genuinely believe in the Commonwealth. I think the Commonwealth should be expanded. I believe that with other countries like China expanding, it's in the Commonwealth's best interests to stay together, push together, and anyone that is titled.
Excuse me, expanded, that's a cool note, but expanded how? How do you want them to expand?
The same way my people always expand.
No, we're not.
The same way my people always expand.
You're just some country minding your business, and off in the distance you hear just loud booming echoes of God Save the King as they hear just slight marching, progressively getting louder.
I'm saying we could do it diplomatically. Anyone that was ever in the Commonwealth is always welcome back.
Diplomatically, we're going to point guns at you, and if you say no, we're going to fire them.
Coming from an American?
To be fair, I don't know if we've ever...
Why? Are you trying to import freedom?
We don't step in to take your land. We step in to take your oil. There's a difference.
I am simply saying we should be inviting people into the Commonwealth.
Invitation's polite. It's nice. Will you accept rejection gracefully?
Sure.
Good.
Whoever doesn't come gets to keep Meghan Markle.
That's not graceful.
Mm-mm.
Oh, well.
No, but I will say, so it's very interesting to me. For those that don't know, I'm a media strategist. My specialty is if you get caught doing something you shouldn't, I can fix it. If you have a film coming out, I can make sure everybody watches it.
Yeah.
My specialty is making people famous. I'm very good at it.
Yeah, no kidding. You're the one. You helped me with my main page. You also helped me with my Bear the Goods page, which has a video going viral right now, thankfully. So
you mean after I yelled at you for 45 minutes because you wouldn't follow my direction on what to put up, you finally put up what I asked you to, and you went viral?
It went good, and I'm very excited by it. So thank you. Huh? Fist bump.
Anyways, essentially what we're looking at when we talk about her is I will happily do image rehab on both her and Prince Henry of Wales when they
I
divorce.
forget his name is Henry, honestly.
Yes.
Okay.
Her name, she keeps telling everyone she's a princess. Technically, she's Princess Henry of Wales.
Yes, she takes on his name as her own at that point.
Yeah, she is not a princess.
She's a duchess.
No, she's a princess. She's married to a prince. She is not a princess.
Oh.
You're born it or you're not, or you're married into it. So I'm a baroness.
Yes.
Anyone who marries me doesn't suddenly become a baron. They could. We could sue for it, but I wouldn't be bothered.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it would be more fun to see if, say, you and I got married, that would make you Baron Summer.
So I actually don't get to keep my name at that point.
No, the same as the same as she is Princess Henry of Wales.
How do I find titles for my ancestors that I can fight for again?
Are you in the Commonwealth?
I'm not currently in the Commonwealth.
Well, then I don't care.
But if I marry you, wouldn't I be?
Ugh.
And then I can fight for my whose title wins at that point?
Mine.
Royal
blood title always matters more. That's it.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
I'm related to Mary Queen of Scots.
And we killed her. The point
Your
is
family beheaded her.
The point is you have people like her, and I'm going to put this as plainly as I can.
Yeah,
I think it was very sweet what Oprah tried to do for her. I think it was very sweet what Tyler Perry tried to do for her. They didn't know she was a psychotic liar.
I know. It's over the years
but
just kind of gotten to more of like a meme of sorts.
It's gotten ridiculous. I mean, even the what's his name? The Archduke of Canterbury.
Who's that guy?
The guy in charge of the Anglican Church.
Supposed to marry them, right?
Had to come out because she accused him of committing a crime and saying he married them days before the wedding.
Even though he didn't.
So she told, 27 lies in like 15 minutes or some ridiculous thing.
She did, however, teach
Hollywood will not forgive her because she hurt Oprah. And, one thing Hollywood loves is Oprah.
Is Oprah?
Yeah, we love Oprah.
This is going to take a dark turn real fast. Do we know, or do we think we know, if she had anything to do with like P. Diddy or the whole Epstein thing? Because it seems that they haven't released.
Spinning it? No, she didn't. But she wasn't important enough.
What? Wait, Oprah wasn't important enough to be invited to a Diddy's parties?
No. Oprah didn't have anything to do with Diddy. She didn't have anything to do with Epstein. Nothing like that. Oprah's goal has been making money. I thought you were talking about Markle. I was like, she was never important enough.
No, not Markle.
But here's the thing. Not everyone in Hollywood had things to do with Diddy and Epstein. I knew Diddy.
I guess there's so many.
He was lovely to me. We were his funders. So he didn't, act like a fool.
With, Viacom and Paramount and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny. What would I can't imagine what he would want money for that he couldn't get from like Capitol Records or was it Death Con Records? Death Row Records.
We're actually doing a television show about Death Row right now.
Oh yeah? Mm-hmm. Do you have any of the members on them right now or any of the artists?
It's wonderful. I'm going to be speaking with Death Row this coming week.
Cool.
So we'll be doing a television show about Death Row Records. The thing that excites me most, we're also doing a television show about royalty.
Yes, you have your royalty in America.
But the biggest one is we are doing a television show with Moniece Slaughter where she's done an investigation into kind of the dark side of America. And the first people we're focused on is this reproductive abuser that has 40 kids.
Mm-hmm.
He's molested his own daughters, had children with his own daughters.
Shit.
He has lied, gotten women pregnant. He's, really, this man is horrific. And this was all brought to light by Moniece. So we're doing a television show and Moniece has I know everyone knows her from Love and Hip Hop, but she is an incredible investigative journalist.
Yeah.
And so this show is being brought on by her. And each season, we're going to be focusing on different kinds of crimes and different kinds of people. But in Monique's case here, hi, by the way, to everyone on our live stream over there.
Yeah, tune in BTS on Facebook and Instagram. We are live right now there as well.
So what's so shocking about it, though, is
how about the whole kid situation? That's pretty fucking shocking.
Well, he's had children. I'd like to remind everyone, every time we use bad language, we give money to the Boys and Girls Club of America, the Humane Society of America, and Free MMA. We swear because we care.
Fuck yeah.
So essentially, he touched and essayed his daughters.
Yeah.
His son is in prison right now for essaying his sisters. He has a phone. That's how he spoke to Monique. I don't know how he got the phone in prison. He used to take the sisters, and then he'd have what he calls sister dates, and he'd have the sisters do things so he could watch. Then one of the little girls, or one of the young women, she's a woman now, had turned around and got angry at the other sister for speaking to Monique and said, no, that's just how dad shows us he loves us. This man has 40 children. Some of his grandchildren are his children. Really, it is a horrific situation. And it's only getting worse. His mother is not any better. She's trying to cover up his crimes. His son is a monster, and we don't know if the son was molested or what went on, but the son is a predator as well.
I'm willing to say he probably was. Behavior like that isn't hereditary. It is
learned.
Nature. It's learned, and so I'm sure it happened to him, and then he picked up and did it, obviously, to the sisters at that point. But hey, that's fucked up. The whole situation's fucked up.
So that is American Monsters, and that's going to be American Monsters, and that's brought to you by Monique Slaughter.
Yeah, go follow her.
And so,
guys.
yeah, make sure you're following Monique. We work together. We're going to be opening a Popeye's chicken together. Long story. Totally nothing to do with that. She was offered part of a Popeye's chicken, so I'm going to go do a contract.
Okay,
and
cool.
Since we get the percentage, obviously, I get a percentage of a Popeye's chicken, which means he gets free chicken.
Yeah, but it's all deep fried chicken.
So he gets nothing because he has to lose weight.
How about after lose weight?
No.
Speaking of losing weight, did you hear that the Hawk Tua girl is going to be going to court and probably losing a lot of money because she did a rug pull meme coin scam like 2 days ago?
Clever girl.
Yeah, so she went on. For those who don't know, I don't know how you don't know this point, but meme coins is the thing that popped up because influencers started like creating their own digital currency, and then they would go in there, they'd artificially inflate the market value by having pre-investors come in. And then once they've bought those coins, they'll release the option to buy to the rest of the public. Then all those pre-investors and, of course, the influencer will immediately pull all their shares because then it's dead. It's not going to have any value.
Okay, so she did a Madoff.
What's a Madoff?
Bernie Madoff.
Oh, yes. Okay. I don't know. I didn't understand the reference.
So she pulled a Bernie Madoff.
Yes, she did.
Look, I got to be honest with you. I don't care. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean, like, if she's getting her bag because she, put all her money here. I mean, this girl made making one dirty joke
her whole
career
thing. It's incredible. But here's the thing. When
Alexis, get the Hawk Tua girl on the show.
My thing is,
good for her. I'll give her a TV show. I think she's getting a reality. I'll give her a TV.
She's going to court.
Yeah, exactly.
Two things. Number one, if you bought that coin, you deserve to be scammed. I'm sorry, it's a life lesson you needed to have. You don't know any better by this point. You think somehow you're going to be one of the first people to pull out and make your money, not thinking they already have like 35 different investors before you. You're bad at money. You shouldn't have any. Two.
That's why they don't have any money. I'm going to tell you.
You're going to interrupt my number two?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
From somebody that's very, very good at making money.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I don't invest in?
Meme coin?
Fucking memes. I invest in rental properties.
How about NFTs?
I invest in businesses. I have never bought a goddamn NFT. I do not buy Bitcoin. I do not do any of that. And this is not an old money, new money thing. My family, we titled, but, the term is, poor gentry, essentially. My money, I made myself. My daddy was a sailor. Like, the title, great. But the reality is, I made my money myself. I'm continuing to make money myself. Do you know, we've got an app coming out next year. We've got all of these things, but my money was made in the entertainment industry. I simply tell people how to get famous, how to blow their projects up. It pays well. I've never had a flop, make lots of money. Here's the catch. If you're dumb enough to buy that, like
buy digital currency from an influencer.
Points to the people that got involved in like GameStop that bought that quickly and then flipped it. Brilliant. To the people that held on to it, they did. To the people that held on to it, serves you damn right.
Yeah.
The holding on to it is ridiculous. For right now, invest. I mean, Elon Musk is going to be in the government. Go invest in Tesla. That's a good investment right now, because him being involved in the government until Trump gets mad at him is going to increase his net worth, because he'll put in laws that benefit him, because people are human and American politics sucks. And you call it lobbying, not bribery. So we call it bribery. You'd go to prison. But I'm saying,
it's in America. You can do whatever you want.
But that's my point. Go put your money in Tesla. He's going to be in the government. Well, once things start to turn south with him about the halfway through for the first year, pull your money.
Hold on, before you continue down the note, you should know Tesla stock's dropping.
I know.
Because the whole
half the country hates
Cybertruck and the whole issues they're having.
No, that's wonderful.
Okay.
That means you can get it cheap. And he's going to be, of course it will, because he's going to be in government, which means the laws will be changing and things like the bar lights and all these problems that he's having. He can just rug sweep because he's going to be working for the government. Now, with it dropping is the time
working for the government.
Exactly. Now is the time to buy your cyber truck or your essentially
whatever you're buying, because it's going to get cheaper,
buy your Tesla stock. Well, it's down right now. Once Trump gets in, Musk is going with him. That's going to go up
until he fires Musk.
Exactly. And then you pull your money. It's before he gets fired. But that's the point. Halfway through the first year, Musk is very hard-headed, very intelligent. If Trump listens to him, he'll do well. But the reality is halfway through the first year, pull your money from Tesla. That's what I'm going to do. That's what everyone I know is going to do. Be smart. Do not buy the Hawk Tour. Is that her name?
Hawk Tour, yeah.
Hawk Tour girl NFT nonsense.
It's already over. And I wasn't going to say this until you mentioned GameStop. So now I think it's more valid. There's a consensus that the influencer community, when they start to go broke, start investing in meme coins to scam their audience. And I was thinking like, is it everybody? I've only heard of a couple stories. And you're like, GameStop did it. And I'm like, GameStop is going out of business. All right, it's got to be the thing.
So essentially what they do is it's a last ditch.
Yeah.
And so I'm losing my audience. I'm about to die. Grab the money I can and scoot. Because your career's over. Yeah. People like you that punch people for money, you have a career besides being on the
I have other things that I don't have to rely strictly on that.
Exactly. My money is to make people famous. People are always going to want to be famous. So it's not hard to make money for me. But for people who are poor or difficult or undereducated or don't have a niche, and I always say this.
Niche is a big thing.
That's exactly it. If you don't want to be poor, find your niche.
Yeah.
Everyone's good at something. The best way to make money is know what you're good at, know what you're not good at. I wanted to be an actress, legit. I wanted to be an actress. Turned out as good as I was at acting, and I was getting roles, I was getting a following. The skill they didn't tell me when I went to NIDA that I needed to have is dealing with the public.
What's NIDA?
NIDA is the National Institute of Dramatic Arts in Australia. I was one of the youngest people ever to go.
Got it.
It was a prestigious university. I wanted to be a Shakespearean stage actress. There's no money in that, so obviously I was making movies. I still got to do my Shakespeare on stage. But once I started to build a fan base, especially when I was doing Victoria's Secret, because I needed, money, what they didn't tell me is that I had to have the ability to deal with people.
You had to be whatchamacallit?
A people person.
You had to be you're a public figure.
Yes.
You had to be that.
Nobody told me.
You think you had actors in your life? You knew they get on camera, they'd see public people, they do signings and autographs.
People. I didn't want people touching me or talking to me.
Oh well, maybe.
I
You decided to become an actress.
But that's it. I am horribly shy. Contrary to popular opinion, I'm horribly shy and I don't like strangers. But I love entertainment, so I stayed in entertainment and got behind the camera.
Yeah, and you made wonderful things since.
Oh yes, know your limitations. Know what you fail at. Know what you're good at, know what you're not. That is how you make money. Bear is very much a people person. He likes talking to the public for some stupid reason.
It's fun. I love meeting everybody. That's bad, terrible
I like
sound.
meeting some people.
Speaking of niches, I think that part of the problem is she blew up so fast, didn't really have anything to offer aside from like her talk to a show.
No, she should have
burnt out.
No, she should have put together a show that essentially was like talking about sex, what it's like dating and sex in America now.
They followed her because of that.
But that's it. So do a show on what it's like to date in America now, what it's like to have sex in America now. How do you find a guy when what you're known for is this Hawk Tour joke? Will people take you seriously? How do people view sex in America? She could have absolutely blown up into a huge star. Instead, she's arguing about NFTs. That's what happens when you don't have the right media strategist. And I'm sorry to say this.
Yeah.
The agent, if you have a bad agent, it affects you. If you have a bad manager, it affects you.
I feel like this is a bad manager kind of thing, because who advised her, like, hey, you're losing your fame, so let's rug pull the people who still care about you. Let's scam your audience and still care about you, instead of like, hey, put it somewhere productive.
But that's the point. That's a bad manager.
They went for the money now instead of like a greater long-term investment.
Speaking of managers, not bad ones, I am going to say, Alexis, make sure you get Dory and Yana together, because I think they can cross-promote their people. And I'm going to welcome to the show Alexis Romero.
Look at that hat.
I know. Her hat's better than mine. Now I'm annoyed.
It's very good.
Well, you were wearing a hat, so I had to too.
Well, it's a very good looking hat.
You need to framing. You need to be up further, or your camera needs to be down. I'm looking at Lex's framing. You think working in television should have the framing down?
She does a different part, right? She's what finds the money and finds the people.
No, she doesn't do that.
Oh, what's her role? Sorry, what's your role? Tell people about yourself.
I am the private secretary to the Baroness.
Hi.
And you run?
Well, I do quite a few things.
Are we the name you're on here today for?
I am on here because I run Kink4Dummies. Excellent.
Could you, I know we've gone through this 1.5 million times. Maybe you can do it with a different inflection or tone of voice, but tell everyone about Kink4Dummies.
Kink4Dummies, it's a kink and educational sex page about sex.
Hey, we were talking about how that Hawk to a Girl should have done that.
That was supposed to be the segue, but Lex is stuttering a little bit. Did you have a stroke?
I'm not sure. I think I just haven't slept properly.
Reasonable enough. What's keeping you up at night? We'll do therapy right now. It's cool.
Nothing fun.
You think on Kink4Dummies it would be? So right now, so for those that don't know, what Alexis does essentially, she puts together deals. Right now, she's putting her goal is airlines. We're dealing with airlines, so her goal is to put together deals with airlines. It's the only thing that matters. The way our job works is you focus on one thing, you get through that one thing, that's it. And
you mean you don't want to start like 5 different projects and only have to do them?
That means you're bad at your job.
I might be kind of bad at my job. Don't agree with me on that. You're supposed to be like, no, you're amazing, great.
I'm not on your team. We're agreeing with you.
I don't want to be right in this case.
If it helps, you're not usually right.
That's not helping.
So we are here today, speaking of the Hawk Tour Girl. Now, what you've done is what she should have done, which is essentially create a platform that talks about intimacy and relationships and that sort of thing. You talk about kink. And after the popularity of shows like 50 Shades of Grey, the books like A Court of Thorns and Roses, that was an absolute ripoff of Receiver of Many, which we, by the way, have the rights to and are turning into a television show. Yeah. Shame on you, Court of Thorns and Roses. You ripped off Rachel Alexander, who is our author for Receiver of Many. So if you all want some Greek mythology smut, go read Receiver of Many. It is spectacular, and it's being turned into a television show by yours truly.
Do I get a fist bump now?
No.
All right.
You're still in trouble. But we are reaching out to Henry Cavill for the lead.
You want him as what would be the lead in your guys' show? Hades? Okay.
We wanted him for Hades. The problem is his career's kind of done a nosedive since he let his missus take over.
Well, he stopped being Superman for one, and I don't think he's done.
No. That was Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers always sucks at that. Yeah, that's got nothing to do with it. So Warner Brothers always sucks at superhero films. Really, what they should have done was leaned into the horror of kind of the Joker. I hated Jared Leto as a Joker because he was creepy, and that's exactly what the Joker should have been. They should have leaned far more into that. But that is an aside. Henry Cavill, as long as he never finds out that he and Guy Ritchie never finds out that the reason that Bureau or the Ungentlemanly Warfare is now playing on Alaska Airlines is because we turned it down, it should be fine.
That's such a good movie, by the way.
But it's only playing on Alaska Airlines.
Why? What do you mean Alaskan Airlines?
Because we turned it down.
You can't put it out anywhere else?
No. It was so we wouldn't take it.
Okay.
And it was actually not the film. The film was exceptional.
Yeah.
It was the business associated with it. I'm telling you, this chick that he married is an idiot. Her dad runs one of the biggest production companies in Hollywood.
What production company is
I'm
that?
not saying this out loud because that will get us tagged. And,
All right.
I'm trying to get him on a television show. And to his missus, you are wonderful. I'll give you a production credit. Just give me your mister.
All right. And if you guys ever listen to the show and get to this point, stop.
Yeah, we just need Henry Cavill for Receiver of Many.
We
wanted originally Manganiello, but that was before the pandemic, and Manganiello's aged up. I still want him though.
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily for a show.
Now, I'm curious because we're talking a lot about the Hollywood and whatnot. Alexis, how do you manage between being the personal secretary and running your own pages and probably doing your own projects as well?
She doesn't do her own projects. She manages fighters.
Yeah.
That.
And that's part of the company that we run. And the only thing she does that isn't part of the company is kinked, because I won't let that be part of the company because she's a hoe.
Okay, well, how are you managing?
Not a very good one.
The question stands regardless.
All joking aside, you have how do you deal with that perception? You work in an incredibly conservative industry. Your job is about managing people and images, and then you have this very kind of socially unacceptable hobby, which is being a dominatrix. I mean, you spank men for fun.
I think it's all about being open and honest. Like, it's been public knowledge for, God, I don't even know how long at this point, that it's something that I find enjoyable. I've started a full community. It's not necessarily just a page, but it's a full community of people that have come together to talk about not only BDSM, but sex education. And it became so much more important after the whole 50 Shades of Grey fiasco. That entire situation is just a fiasco.
Made a fortune. Love that.
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah.
It sucks. And it's obviously not real sex. It's fake. It's got a not personified, but whatever word is where it's just kind of.
What disappointed me about it was the actor himself, the way he talked about BDSM.
That's the writing, isn't it?
No, the way he talked about BDSM and his experience with it, he was horrified when he went to a BDSM club. And I don't know if he went to a bad club. I went to this great BDSM club with Alexis. I didn't see any BDSM, and I got to play Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I just stayed upstairs the entire time playing video games.
I would just assume don't go to a BDSM club that's your first time. That's probably not for first time learners, right?
Well, he was playing the role, so he wanted to check it out.
I think
talk to your wife, dude.
He went with his wife.
One thing that we talk about is not kink shaming. It doesn't matter what you're into, but don't judge those that are into it. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
I'm sorry, I do judge. If you want to wear diapers, I judge you.
Well, not everybody wants to wear diapers.
In a perfect world, you don't judge them.
And I encourage everyone to see the movie A Low Down Dirty Shame.
As long as your kink is safe, sane, and consensual. What's a low down dirty shame?
A phenomenal film you should watch.
All right. Hey, that'll be on our movie night.
I just like John Waters. But I think that I do. I judge people for different things.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, Lex likes to be in control of men. I despise weak men.
Mm-hmm.
I despise weak men. And I would see that as, well, not necessarily the bedroom part. Is it just they're weak in the bedroom or weak of character?
No, I like guys that are successful. That specifically are driven, and then I like to be in control. It doesn't mean that they're weak.
I think that's it. I might be part of the problem. I associate men doing that with weakness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't.
No.
Well, we have two very different consensus here.
Well, yes. Hence, Lex, this is an opening where I try and get you to talk about things and explain it. That's how this works. It's called an interview. It's amazing. It's a great new invention.
Fantastic.
How does that hat feel?
No. In all seriousness, so when we look at this, public perception, I really don't see men like that as weak. I know the kind of men that like slikes. I'm pretending not to. What I'm trying to get her to do is open up, and clearly she's not used to being interviewed, just FYI. Alexis,
I have a bit of stage fright.
Yeah, I need you to kind of join the conversation. With the public perception about men that are into that as them being weak, do you find that men don't want to be open about being involved in that? Do you find that it creates any issues?
I find that there's some people that don't want to, some that they, because of the public perception, especially as their level of success in their career, some of them are not open and honest about it. There's a lot of executives that are into things, and business owners of huge tech companies, and they are very interested in it. Some of them are in a domineering aspect, some of them are submissive. It just really depends. But I think because of the public perception, they don't come out as much to, tell people what they're interested in. So I think that because of the negative perception of it, it's not as openly talked about.
Why do you think there's a negative perception?
I think mainly because of the 50 Shades of Grey, the bullshit that's out there.
There was a negative perception before that.
Yes. But this is what brought it to the forefront. And people look at it as, some of them have said that it's, religious, like it's cultish, it's worshiping the demon. There's so many negative things that have been said about it because there's a lack of information out there.
Do you think Diddy's interest in bisexuality and BDSM has further tarnished the reputation of the BDSM community?
I think that's part of it. But I think there is not just the influencers and the celebrities that are involved that have made there be such a negative perception of it.
Well, where do you think the negative perception comes from?
I think because they've been associated with a lot of people, the SA people. I think they've put it in with the kitty diddlers. I think they have associated so many negative things with a community that has nothing to do with that.
So you think it's the old LGBTQ plus tie-in where people used to tie all of these negative associations that have nothing to do with it into it?
Yes.
Well, NAMBLA's asking to be recognized as part of the LGBTQ plus community
They've been barking at that tree for hot minute.
Nobody wants them.
No.
So where can everyone find you?
Kink4Dummies. On everything. It's KINK, the number 4, dummies.
Nice. I wanted to ask before we jumped off, is in your experience with these guys, what drives them more towards the dominant or submissive aspect?
All preference. It's, some people want to be dominated because they have really stressful jobs and they want to be on the submissive side of it. Other people just like to be in control.
That makes sense. Okay, fair enough.
Well, we are going to continue talking about this. We are going to let Alexis go. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to be talking more about kink. We're going to be talking about all of this. I know you have a very, very long day. Everyone can find you on Kink4Dummies across the board?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us. Guys, we will be answering questions for the remainder of the show, talking about kink and a few different things. Thank you very much, Alexis.
Thank you.
So I think one of the biggest things when we look at kink, people have this idea that it's a morality thing or it talks about who you are as a person.
Well, of course it does, because everyone's got the perception of like, hey, if you are into this thing or that thing, it makes you a specific type of person. They don't separate it from the person or the personality, what you do in a business life, a casual life, and then the sexual life. It's all combined into one. You are that person. Now, I will say this for sure. If your preference is heinous, if it harms other people, if it harms children, I think it should be all lumped together. I don't think you get a choice. It's so over the top bad that is who you are now. You don't get to be like the business executive and the predator. You are just the predator the whole way.
I'm sexually aroused when you buy me jewelry.
That's fine. It doesn't harm other people. It doesn't. Probably. It's probably a kink for gifts or jewelry specifically. I'm sure of it.
I'm sexually aroused when pretty much anyone buys me jewelry.
Listen, there's a great rule on the internet called Rule 34. And it basically says that if it exists, there's a porn of it out there. So I'm equating that to kink too. If it exists, there's probably a kink for it out there. I'm sure there are people.
Is there a adult film of just being given jewelry?
No, I'm sure there's not an adult film. Maybe it's not a big enough specific on that. Or maybe there's someone banging a diamond. I don't know. It could possibly be out there.
Why?
Why? Because you have to make it the act sexual. It can't just be getting jewelry and then like, oh, that turns me on.
You give me jewelry and then I don't want to sleep with you. We have an excellent system.
You might be the only one. Like jewelry arouses me. But I don't actually want sex. I just want to sit here
and hold
jewelry. That's not arousal. That'd be happiness. That's joy. That's not about your loins.
But I find you more sexually appealing when you give me jewelry.
But I think that's more so for the fact that it's like, hey, this guy can afford it. This guy can do this guy can do that.
He put the work into it.
He put the work into it. So maybe you're aroused by effort. Maybe seeing something done for you is what brings you joy.
I think that's more love language than sexual arousal at that point.
I'm starting to think this whole thing is not about sexual arousal.
I am definitely sexually aroused when you give me jewelry, though.
Our wonderful tech person here, our sound engineer, said, search compilation of women being surprised with jewelry. I'm sure something will come up. There you go.
Excellent. I'm definitely checking that out.
What maybe it's like they'll put a cock ring on a guy, and on top of the ring's got a big old diamond or sapphire there. Well, I'm trying to help you find your kink, find your thing.
Maybe I don't have a kink. I'm gonna ask you guys out there. They say everyone's got a kink.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever met someone that doesn't? What's your kink?
Sadomasochism. I love to sadomasochism. I love to inflict pain on the people in the bedroom.
So okay, so you're into what Lex is into.
Yeah, to an extent, sure. I think she takes it in different directions. I don't necessarily need I love accoutrement, but I don't need accoutrement. As long as I feel like I am running the show, I am pleased with the situation. That's my thing. And by the way,
so when do I get to wear the penis in the situation?
That kind of takes away from the aspect of that whole control thing.
No, hear me out. I'm just saying, if you like what she likes to, put it in. Guys, when do I get to put it in you?
No, I am on the same end as her, not the guys she gets.
So she gets to put it in you.
No. You're about to run out of jewelry here. But no, you have one too. It's not a pleasure one. It's like a happiness one. You want to be told.
Please.
Yes, and you like to be told that you're doing amazing, or that you're wonderful, and that you're good, and all that jazz.
Yes, that's because I have daddy issues.
We can dive into that. No, I'm kidding. But reasonable. I think your past does kind of equate to that. It does kind of make up what you're going to be dealing with, and a lot of times it's more so trauma than anything else. Now, I'm not saying that trauma gives you a kink. I'm saying sometimes
Alexis
it can shape.
Is going to love when she watches this video and sees that, because her argument is that 50 Shades of Grey.
What I'm saying is sometimes it can create a pathway to it. So, for example, I may have always been into BDSM by way of watching porn as a kid or becoming an adult and trying it.
I thought you were against corn.
Huh? Oh, right. We can't say that. No, I am for sure. You definitely should not get into it. I think you as an adult, you shouldn't get into it, let alone as a child. I'm just stating what happened in my life. So,
let's try this. Why are you against corn?
The mental impact it has on the young minds of men, women, whoever is devastating. It shapes the way you view sex. It shapes the way you view people, and it's never in a positive light. You tend to see them as more objects. The objectification obviously is there, but also the complete dismissal of what that person may need, want, or feel also goes in hand with it, because to you, they're just an entity near you for your use. They're not actually a person.
Then how did you get good at it if you see people as your partner as a non-entity? I mean,
active effort. You have to try not to dismiss the person. You have to try not to disregard what they're saying, feeling, or wanting. You have to try. In the beginning, it's easy probably because this is a new person. It's your first time having sex. So you're not really thinking about, I much rather be doing this and disregarding all the things for them. But as time goes on, if you continue to watch porn, you continue to do these things, that mindset will build up to where you are only ever going to see them as an object instead of someone who does and deserves to have other aspects.
What about the Andrew Tate crowd that believes the clitoris doesn't exist?
Oh, that's why they don't get fucked. I don't know. What about the Andrew Tate crowd? That's what I like to say. They aren't having sex. I'm not worried about it. He had to kidnap women to have sex.
He had to pay for it.
Yeah.
What does that say? If you're paying for it, buddy.
It says a whole hell of a lot. That's what it says. Nothing good, obviously. But hold on, I do want to. I was trying to jump back to my other subject.
I support the sex workers, just not the other people.
the other people.
I'm gonna ask Kimberly, would you grab me a nausea, please? I am so nauseous.
Well, don't throw up as best you can.
I've been throwing
I'll
up for
give you
2 days.
the Harry Potter mug if you have
threw
to.
up all over my bed yesterday. It was fantastic.
Hey, but do me a favor. If you start vomiting, don't unmic yourself, because we can take those sound bits and we can sell them to people and make a profit.
My scream already belongs to Not Scary Farm. I'd rather keep some of my noises to
Let's
myself.
not make my vomiting sound public. It make money. People are into it. It's kink.
Really, that's a kink. Vomiting is a kink.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why is vomiting a kink?
Well, if you're on the aggressive side of it, making someone vomit or forcing them in a position where they have to, that's a level of control. Like, hey, you don't get to control your own body, your inside, your organs. I decide that for you. So there's that aspect of it. And maybe if you're on the flip side of it, you like to be out of that control. You like to have a little bit of pain and be forced to do that against your will.
Why?
I can't speak to their ends because I don't know what their ends are.
Okay. Now, when you're choked out in a cage fight, do you enjoy that?
No, but also I don't enjoy it sexually when I'm choking other people, because you're in a different mindset. But you're not thinking sexually. In fact, that's what I get mad about.
Have you gotten an erection while choking your training partner?
No, I got an erection while teaching you martial arts, though.
Yes, that's why he fired me as a student. For those who don't know,
She was a student of mine years ago. I found that I was interested in her, and I decided that I don't want to have the dynamic of the teacher and the students. I think that's an abuse of power. So I fired her as a student, and I asked her out. It worked perfectly. Plan success.
I got kicked out of martial arts class because he got an erection.
You can always come back now. You can always rejoin now.
Fine, I will find a new martial arts teacher.
Don't rejoin my classes.
No, I don't. Want
I'm one of the best around. Not to sound too hubris, I'm one of the best around. How dare you? I've been doing this for over a decade.
You've been doing this for 20 years.
I've been trying for 20 years. Training for 20 years. Conflict of interest. Thank you, sir. Yes, our
I am going. No,
wonderful
I'm going
engineer
to go.
again chiming in with that.
I'm going to go to a different school, and I'll check out how your competition, feels on top of
You
me.
go to a different school, and you're going to take like a photo before you walk in the door every single time.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, I'll wrestle with your competition, and I'll tell you how they measure up.
I'm bigger.
Oh my God.
You're welcome. No, I do want to get back real quick, because we should make it clear. Kink is not shaped by any kind of trauma you have. You may always be involved in it. What I'm saying is, like, if for some reason you lose a parent or a parental figure early in life and you're like, oh, I never want to lose that person again, that control may get involved in what you're sexually interested in, because that's how the pain interprets itself.
Is that why you're a control freak? Because your dad died when you were young?
In general, yes. It may have played a little bit into the sexual aspect, where it's like, I want to be in control of the situation so this person can't like subconsciously leave me or whatever.
I left you because I hate you. So what's wrong with that?
That's not the same. And I wish I had more water. I thought for a second you're going to pick this up and drink it in front.
That would have been a better idea.
Oh, they're going to be like, I already gave you the idea. It doesn't count. But no, for sure, it definitely plays a role of having something traumatic happen to you. It just doesn't necessarily have to do with you being into kink later in life. You don't fall into it because your parents passed away. That doesn't make any sense. But the aspect of feeling the need to control, the need to have someone look after you or guard you from a traumatic event that happened as a kid may play into it.
I will say, for those that don't know, part of the reason I dated Bear is I was being stalked. Part of the reason I was taking martial arts lessons.
You were being stalked?
I was being stalked by this crazy guy. I have like 40 restraining orders or 40. Alexis, how many?
It's 48.
48?
Yeah, because she's not here.
Excellent.
Okay.
Restraining orders with guys that have known me over the years or seen me online or whatever, and decided that God told them we were supposed to be together. So
I can't believe it's so bad that 48 judges, or one judge 48 times, was like
48 different judges.
Like, oh my God. You have a different county, you have a different judge in every county to do this for you.
Yep. So I have these active restraining orders. Well, this one guy came down. He was over at the Marine base. And he started stalking me. He started following me. And it actually got to the point that Bear was sleeping in front of my door on an air mattress.
Yeah. Funny thing about restraining orders, it's a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Can't do anything about it in the moment. So better to have someone there to provide a level of security or comfort.
And that's why I was taking self-defense classes.
Yes.
Before he molested me in self-defense
I did not molest you in self-defense class. You cannot say. I didn't know we're allowed to say that, honestly.
No, he really didn't. He did. I did think he had a cell phone in his pocket, but as soon as apparently he got aroused, he kicked me out of class.
Yes, I was very respectful of that. And actually, to the other question you're saying, that's the only time I've ever had that experience. And I think it's because I was already interested in you prior to that. Like, we already chatted. I've already seen you physically. So I'm like, all right, this girl's hot. I love what she talks about. So I was already interested. And then, like, there were times where we'd stop in the middle of positions and discuss what's happening there. And that's probably what happened versus like in a rolling or a match. I'm not into the person.
Someone's punching you in the face.
Someone's likely hitting me in the face. So I'm just trying to stop that shit from happening.
So is that all it takes? You're getting hit in the face for the arousal to go away?
Yeah, that's a pretty... How you do it depends. But yes, if we're in the middle of going at it, you turn around. I'm definitely not interested anymore.
Understood.
A lot has happened in that
Understood.
minute.
I'll let you guys know how that goes.
How all that works. No, just it's you don't really feel it in martial arts because the reality is you're in a different mindset. You're trying to actively win a match, you're trying to hurt the other person, you're trying to survive depending on what your circumstance is. So you're not really invested in sex at that point.
I hear about martial arts all the time. It gets boring.
I knew that was intentional and I ignored it because I didn't want to give you the satisfaction.
No, I'm teasing. In all seriousness.
Yes.
I think kink. I agree with Alexis. I think it's deeply personal.
Yeah. Well, it is.
Do you think, for those out there, that there's a way to control kinks? I know, like, if you watch Korn, eventually what you watch gets more and more
progressively worse, heavier, extreme. You're always looking for the next taboo no matter what. And I guess in a way, yes, that's how you control it. If you're talking about yourself, yeah, you can absolutely control it by way of what you watch and what you masturbate to. But other people,
that one
no
wasn't
way.
mocking you.
That's right. So, you did it unironically now.
Yeah,
it serves you right. No, you cannot control anyone else's kink. You'd have to go to their childhood, which is a whole nother fucked up issue if you were trying to do that in order to make something like that happen.
So for
me,
you have this kink where you like to be in control. What happens when you have a partner that's not into that?
It doesn't work. I'm sure she would have been able to elaborate on this too, but to my basic understanding of kink, if you get two people who are not going to mesh together, stop doing it.
It's not intentional.
She keeps yawning in my face. I'm going to yawn now. Two people who don't mesh sexually, they're just going to have conflicts of interest. You're going to have one person who's...
But you and I don't mesh sexually.
It's meshing up. You want to make someone happy. I have a specific thing that I want, so you're willing to do that thing that makes me happy because it gets you what you want.
You don't do stuff that hurts me. You don't abuse me. You buy me diamonds. I don't see the problem.
But that's my point. First of all, kink should not be abusive.
But, well, you're talking about hurting people. That would be abusive.
That's consensual. It's agreement. It's only abusive if you're not consenting to it.
I wouldn't consent to somebody harming me.
But you're consenting to what I want in terms of bedroom activities. It's a very specific manner. It's a very specific situation. And I'm telling you what's going to happen beforehand. And so you're like, okay, I hear this. I'm okay with this because it's going to make him happy. Let's do that. That's different than someone coming up and like slapping you and telling you to go on your knees in public.
But you don't hurt me and you buy me stuff. What's wrong with that?
Actually, sometimes they agree to it in public, but without unwarranted. Unwarranted is what I'm trying to say.
And the only thing we do in public is occasionally I'll poke you and make you jump. But the point is,
that's true. Absolutely do. When she walks behind me, I am keeping an eye on her for sure. But the point, get at the point. But the point is, if you're interested in something, it's because you have a particular predilection towards that. You want to find somebody who's going to align with it. They have an interest in it too, maybe on the opposite end where you like to control, they like to be controlled. But if you got two people who want to control and are unwilling to switch, how they say, to be the other side for the other person and go back and forth, then it's not going to work. You might as well just find somebody else at that point. Your relationship
I'm a total control freak.
Tarnished, is gone, but not in the bedroom.
No,
just at work.
Only at work. I'm
only at work.
But I'm good at making money, so everyone has to do things my way at work.
I mean, when I listen, it works perfectly, as we can see.
Mm-hmm. And when you don't?
And when I don't, well, don't look at any videos prior to the one that blew up. I always listen. If you don't see the work I do that's messed up.
I just count the money that's lost when you don't listen.
Yeah, that channel can't be monetized yet, unfortunately. But it's about to be able to go live. That'd be cool.
I just count the money that's lost.
Don't say that. Go. Don't say that. It's positive affirmations and thoughts, okay? You're seeing the money come in from the videos that are doing great.
Buy me diamonds.
I already told you I'm going to buy you diamonds. And maybe it's part of your kink. You'll get diamonds and we'll go to bed. Huh?
How about we go? You
push the mattresses together?
You buy me diamonds and we don't go to bed.
No, that's not going to work. No, if you are here with me, if I'm buying you diamonds, there's a trade. Here's something people don't talk about in relationships. It's a little bit of a trade-off. You can't completely ignore one person or not meet their needs and have all your stuff met and expect them to stay and be happy with you.
That's true. That's why I dumped him.
No. I'll admit there have been times in my relationship with you that I have been selfish. That is more than reasonable, but I'll buy you things in exchange for that.
In exchange for what?
Those selfish times. So I get you bags or I'll get you jewelry.
Prostitution.
No, it's not prostitution. Diamonds hurt in bed. Don't try it. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. You get the best comments all the time. He does,
always. Sapphires, emeralds. No, all joking aside. I'm making that joke, but really, I'm not actually opposed. Mm-hmm. I look at women that come here from, say, Russia, and they marry American men, and they're it's a trade-off.
A little bit, yeah. Well, that's marriage.
I look at women coming in from the Philippines.
But now we're talking about people who are like marrying for a green card, for financial stability, for a place for their family, maybe.
What's the difference between that and sleeping with someone for diamonds?
Some extra. No, there's not. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, by the way.
This is full circle back to Meghan Markle. How do you sleeping with people to get ahead? She married 3 times for it.
If you're sleeping with somebody to get ahead, fine, that's your business. Just don't destroy other people in the process, right?
There you go. See, full circle to Meghan Markle.
And if you found some rich guy that you want to be with and it's going to help your family and you're willing to, play the housewife, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your life choice.
Why would you want to be a housewife?
Well, that's probably what the dude's expecting.
Why?
He's got all the money. Why would he want somebody else to make money?
You make plenty of money. You have no problem with me making money.
I can see this perspective. If I'm in my 50s, 60s, and I'm alone as a man and I'm wealthy and I just want someone else to be in my space and take care of my house, take care of me, yeah, I'll spend a bunch of money to do that.
Hire a housekeeper.
You might do it with a housekeeper. Who knows? I'm just saying. You can find him anywhere.
Arnold Schwarzenegger did.
I was going to make that joke, but I didn't know if that was in bad taste because he's done such amazing things recently.
He really has.
He's been a great... honestly, outside of being the...
Why do I keep yawning?
We're going to have to cut the show because of that, but also because we're out of time. It's got nothing to do with you. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I love talking about kink. I hope we have Kink4Dummies back on at a better time where we can spend longer asking questions, answering your guys' questions, and discussing more aspects about that world. And of course, always talking about Hollywood ins and outs of fame and what it means to get there. Thank you for always adding that in.
Mm-hmm. Something I am going to tell you guys. Mm-hmm. Right now, everyone is in the fame economy. On social media, you are selling yourself, whether you want to be or not. Because of social media, everyone has joined Hollywood. Every job can be monetized and sold on social media.
Really? Yeah.
We are now in a world where we are all selling ourselves on social media. Please be aware of your branding.
And guys, the more obscure your job, the better it's probably going to do. I've got 1.5 million McDonald's workers online. We may not have one guy who lays the inner lining of tile flooring, the grout. We may not have a lot of grout guys. So get out there, get your bag, use the internet for it. There's no better way of doing it nowadays.
I agree. I'm Summer Helene, Baroness of Ayrshire and Glen Lyon. This is my co-host, what's his face, the Fuzzball.
I'm Bear Fiorda. I don't have any fancy titles.
We'll see you next week.
Good night.
This has been Behind the Scenes with Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda. Only on Talk4 Media.